everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. 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 If we care enough.
This is
What's up, face there? This for pretty new. Yes. What's up, face there? Family ties. Yes. What's up, face there? What's up, face there? Yes. What's up, face there? Pristine boys on the watch them make now. Like this up chandelier, and the like voodoo, Santa Ria. Bet your man ain't getting money like me. Nope. Bet your lil try on me. Whole life on parole, can't talk to felons. Now tell that bitch up in the cops, a man still telling. Still telling. Throw that whole chick away, that still telling. Still telling. Look at these kids ducking time, they're still telling.
Happy Monday. Welcome into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. This, of course, is the show where we hit all the trending topics across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. I am your host, Jill Munroe. I hope you had an amazing weekend. Maybe caught a bit of the NFL, because I know there's a lot of conversation about it. If you're in LA, I hope you stay dry, because it was a little moist out there this weekend. I'm ready for spring already, right now. Enough with the rain. But that's just me. So I hope you're dry, secure, and ready to get into all of these trending topics and headlines, because, of course, there is a lot to discuss. Now, if you are not already, hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580. Of course, I'm at Stiletto Jill everywhere. Hit me up, holler, say hello. If you want the visual experience to go along with this audio experience, we have a YouTube chat and channel that is lively. You can catch most of the shows on there and get in there right now and see what's going on in the chat and the conversation. And lastly, if at any point during the night you want to add your opinion to the conversation, hit us up on the phone lines, 800-920-1580. Now, let me give you the rundown of what we're going to talk about tonight, because listen, when you come off of the weekend, there is always a lot of chatter and conversation about varied things. So tonight we're going to get into Fat Joe, which you heard on the opening, because, you know, we stay on theme over on these parts. Yeah, he said that really you have him and Verzuz to thank for the Ashanti and Nelly reunion. So we're going to get into his comments about that. We're also going to talk about Dave Chappelle. You know, he hit the comedy stage over the weekend for Deion Cole's birthday, and he had some comments about Cat Williams that someone secretly recorded, because, you know, phones aren't allowed in comedy clubs, but someone got him and got the footage. So we're going to talk about what he said and see how you feel about his thoughts and if they have, you know, any truth to them, if he brings up some valid points. And later on, we're going to talk about Jeannie Mae. She, you know, She and Jeezy are divorcing, and he filed for a divorce. She said she was blindsided by it. She found out on social media like the rest of us. Well, now she is asking the judge to throw out their prenup. So we're going to get into why. And of course, there are so many other topics that we're going to get into tonight because, it's the weekend. We've got a little Chris Brown update. We have an update on your boy Kanye, who, Kanye continues to, I don't know, what's the word I want to say? I really want to say confused, but maybe, there's a method to his madness for someone. And later, we're going to get into Candace Owens' comments. She has a thought as to who the leader of garden tool culture is. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we do, I have a couple of conversation starters for you. These, of course, are topics, things that have gone on that I think that you need to be aware of, but we don't have time to get into the full story. Well, your guy, Kenya Barris. Of course, he created Blackish, most recently created the film You People that starred Lauren London and Eddie Murphy, Nia Long, a few others. So he is doing updates to 2 classic films, one of them being The Wizard of Oz and the other being It's a Wonderful Life. So he said that in his reimagining of The Wizard of Oz, his version of Dorothy is a girl who lives in the bottoms in Inglewood. So Dorothy is from Inglewood, California. Of course, the original Wizard of Oz took place during the Great Depression, and it was in Kansas and all of that. He said that it was about self-reliance and what people were going through. And he believes that this is the perfect time to switch the characters, talk about what someone imagines their life could be. He said it's the ultimate hero's journey, and that he believes that sometimes someone thinks things are better than someplace else than where they're actually at. And they go there and they realize that where they're at is where they should be. He says he wants people to be proud and happy about where they're from, but he wants the world to take a look at it and hopes that it will come through. I mean, let's not act like The Wiz, the film, not the play. The Wiz didn't switch up Dorothy's origin story, and she was from New York City. Was it Harlem, Manhattan? I'm not sure, and she was a 24-year-old school teacher, so... When we come forward, we'll get into Kenya's other comments. Plus, we have to talk about this record donation that was made to Spelman College. And we got to talk a little bit about the Kansas City Chiefs and what went on at that game. All of that and more on the other side. You're locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
More when we come forward.
Got me a damn girl on my team.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe we have the best tag team in morning radio. Dominique DePrima and Tavis Smiley. As the first black woman in Los Angeles to anchor a morning drive talk radio show, Dominique covers local politics like a blanket. Weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., Dominique passes the baton to Tavis Smiley, who talks to everybody about everything every day until 12 noon. KBLA's dynamic duo, Dominique and Tavis. It's no wonder the LA Civil Rights Department is honoring Dominique DePrima this year at its Tell Our Story honoring black journalist leaders and storytellers event, Thursday, February 8th. Or that the John M. Langston Bar Association of Los Angeles is honoring Tavis Smiley at its 47th Annual Installation and Scholarship Awards Gala with its Community Impact Award on February 10th. We couldn't be more proud of Dominique and Tavis, who make black history every day, not just in February. If you're missing Dominique and Tavis weekday mornings on KBLA Talk 1580, you're missing out. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Holla, yeah.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope,
Recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Some people just know the best places to eat around town. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate. They know exactly where to go to get exactly what you're wanting. They know where to find the spiciest hot pot, the gooeyest brownies, and the tenderest, most flavorful portobello steak. Those people also know that safe drivers save 40% with Allstate.
Saving 40% is based on the national average premium savings for Allstate auto customers with a clean driving record versus those without. Savings vary by state and vary based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So we were talking a little bit about Kenya Barris, and he is planning on dropping 2 new remakes, an updated version of The Wizard of Oz, as well as an updated version of It's a Wonderful Life, which, you know, is the classic story about a man who is removed from his life and he sees how important his existence was and how empty life would have been had he have not had his life in particular. So he's going to give us the Kenya Barris touch. No word on if they will be an ish type family, but we'll see what he has to do. Also, like back in 2020, it was announced that Kenya was going to be directing a biopic on Richard Pryor. And so the project is still happening, but instead of it being a film, it will now be a 10-part limited series. And it's going to go from cradle to the grave, you know, get all into his years growing up in, you know, a ladies of the night home, a house of ill repute, all of those things. And yeah, so we'll have to see how it turns out with Kenya in the lead. I don't know if you remember back in the 80s, Richard Pryor did his own kind of biographical film. It was called JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling, and he starred in it. Debbie Allen was also in it, played one of his ex-wives, a couple of other people. It was panned at the time when it came out, but I really enjoyed it, and it showed me personally another side of Richard that I, at such a young age, wasn't aware of. So I know that obviously there's some great material there for a series or another movie. It's just who are we going to get to play it? I know there was talks about Mike Epps at one time playing Richard, Marlon Wayans, some other people. So I'm curious to see where we end up with that, because Richard has a very interesting life story. And I wonder how some aspects of it will be responded to by today's fans. Because, you know, there's a lot to it. At any rate, Spelman College, we know, which is a woman's school, historically black college located in Atlanta. Well, last week on Thursday, they announced that they received a $100 million donation, which is the largest ever single gift to a historically black college from one donor. It comes from a woman named Rhonda Stryker, and she's a trustee of Spelman. She and her husband, William Johnston, who is the chairman of Greenleaf Trust, which is a wealth management company. And she is a director of a medical equipment company, Stryker Corporation, which was founded by her grandfather. So they announced that $75 million of the gift had been earmarked for scholarships, and that the remaining money would be going towards improving student housing, developing an an academic focus on public policy and democracy. So, kudos to Miss Stryker and her husband. That is an amazing thing, not only to be able to give back to your alma mater, but $100 million worth to help other Black women attend school and move forward and create amazing things. So just wanted to make sure to shout them out. Now, quickly, I know that this isn't a sports show. However, we do know that we are in the midst of the NFL playoffs. And, the Kansas City Chiefs did it again. They are going to the AFC Championship next weekend. And you got to really quick give it up for Patrick Mahomes, right? 6 seasons as a starter, 6 straight AFC Championship games. How many Super Bowls did they have? Just one, or have they won 2? Can't recall. I know they've won at least 1. So, he's continuing to run the resume up. People are leaning into the GOAT conversation. Tom Brady's only been gone a little while, but they are really, really leaning into it. That coupled with, Taylor Swift at all the Chiefs games. We had to see Taylor swag surf, and then the subsequent pieces at some of the other publications saying, hey, want to know what that cool dance Taylor Swift was doing at the Chiefs game? It's called the swag surf. Imagine having to give that kind of commentary about the swag surf. And oh gosh, I wish I could remember the joke, because they said that it's not the swag surf. They called it, I can't remember, but it was funny. I wish I could remember to share it with you guys, because I was like, oh, I have to share. I guess I didn't save the tweet. At any rate, she will be there next weekend, standing up. It was so ironic, though, to see her in the suite with Travis's brother, Jason, with his shirt off, and Jared Carmichael, of all people, in there, too, with a fur on, swag surfing with Taylor Swift. I tell you, it's a lot happening in these times. New times, new things, new imagery on the loose. So speaking of music superstars, forever and ever and ever, people have been asking, where is Mary J. Blige's boot line, right? Mary J. Blige just needs to come out with a boot line. It's been 30 years. We've seen Mary in, combat boots, Doc Martens, high heel boots, thigh high boots, all types of boots, right? Well, Mary says that sometime in the next year, she will be dropping finally a boot line. So she shared this with Big Tigger recently in an interview. So she said she knows the fans have been waiting. She hears you, and she is ready to release it to the world. I'm wondering what it's going to look like. She has to do it in the fall, right? Like, that's the only time. You can't release a boot line in the summer. Just doesn't go. I'm curious to see what we'll have in it. Mary also dropped some interesting clues. She said that, for those wondering, she is not single. She's enjoying herself right now, but she is not single. And she also was asked what she wanted people to remember about her as far as her legacy goes. And she says just that she gave a lot, that she's given so much of her life, of her story, and basically she wants to be remembered as a giver, someone that opened doors, that since 1991, when she came in, she said from generation to generation, it still exists. Hip-hop soul is super important. I've given women a voice. Every woman wants to tell their story. And because I told mine, she says, now they have, someone to mirror that. So he also asked Mary if she had any regrets, and she said none at all. So shout out to MJB out there doing it and doing it big. Pretty Brown Mimi in the chat says, is Jason Kelsey thirsty for attention or what? he did have his shirt off in very cold weather, but I think he was just excited for his brother. It's a big thing. And how often do you actually, if you work in that setting, get to be a fan of the game, get to just enjoy the evening, enjoy, you know, being a fan, just not having anything tied up in the outcome, really. So good for him. Shout out to him. So lastly, Airbnb has announced that they have a new creative advisor. It's Lala Anthony, and her job as creative director is to help Airbnb with their talent and entertainment partnerships, as well as help create new business opportunities that connect people and the passionate communities with Airbnb properties. So, she has recently announced that she has taken over and decorated a special Airbnb in Florida. I think it might be in Miami. It's the Lala House. So you can check it out. It has lots of her touches if you want to stay in a situation that was especially curated for you by Lala herself. Are we still doing Airbnbs at this point? I feel like that reached its peak during the pandemic and then it fizzled out. Hard body. But we'll have to see. Everybody loves a comeback. So we know that Fat Joe has been talking quite a bit over the past, well, I guess really since the pandemic. Is that when he started his conversations and podcasts and so forth, and the prices going up? I think so. Well, recently, he was talking about his little sis, Ashanti, and he believes that he played a key role in the reconnecting of Ashanti and Nelly, right? He said that his 2021 Verzuz with Ja Rule, that was the catalyst to setting things off for them coming back together. He said that they looked so happy afterwards and that, I guess, was he another one that kind of hinted at or confirmed but not that Ashanti might be pregnant? We're still waiting to see if she really is or not. But there's been a lot of baby chatter and trolling, so we'll have to see. But Joe says that he needs 10% of the kid because if it wasn't for him in Verzuz and him bringing Nelly out, during that whole matchup with Ja Rule, he said that the energy there between the two of them was undeniable. And that's when, it clicked. And Nelly was like, I got to get her back. He said that meaning Joe, said that he saw that Nelly was contemplating and he really wanted to go over to her. And Joe was like, a member of his crew gave him the courage, the encouragement to go and talk to her, right? And that was how it kicked off. Somebody had to crack the ice and it worked. And then by September of last year, they were firmly reconnected, booed out on the red carpet, and we'll see where they're headed towards, right? Ja Rule recently also talked about their relationship when he was on the Tamron Hall show, and he was like, sometimes, with women, they know they want that old thing back, but they have to move covertly, basically, he was saying, and that he didn't want to blow up his sis's spot, but the chemistry was there. The chemistry never left, and it came back quick, and it was obvious that they missed each other. So, good for Joe and Ja Rule being all for love and wanting to see their sister reconnect with someone that they feel is right for her and will do well for her. I wonder if Fat Joe will be in the wedding. Like, will there be a wedding? I don't know. I guess maybe we're jumping the gun because it's not even an engagement yet. But we do like that they're back together. I like Ashanti and Nelly together. And they seem like they're, more importantly, having a really good time. We know that Nelly will be joining Janet Jackson this spring for her tour. So, maybe Ashanti will get to pop out then as well. Okay, so in entrepreneur news, guys, have you heard of the Honey Pot Company? So this is an Atlanta-based, Black-founded feminine care brand, and they've been around for a while. And the founder is a Black woman, and we have to give it up to her. Her name is Beatrice Dixon, right? And recently, Honey Pot has been acquired by a company called Compass Diversified. It's a publicly traded company. And in the deal, Beatrice was awarded $380 million to sell her company. Now, it was founded in 2012 by herself and a person named Simon Gray. And, you know, she will remain on as CEO of the company with a minority stake, right? They sell feminine hygiene washes, menstrual pads, tampons, etc. And it is in about 30,000 stores across the U.S., including Target and Walmart. And they have brought over 60 products to the market since they were founded. And of course, there's some people on social media that are saying, why do we as Black people always have to sell our company? Why can't we hold anything down and pass it along? But this is how generational wealth is created. Sometimes you have to sell parts of the company or other things you own in order to get the capital to move on and rebuild something else. I mean, the legacy that she established is always there. And $380 million. She's staying on as CEO. No one is saying Mark Cuban shouldn't have sold the Mavs. He's staying on there as CEO as well. To its what is it, $2.5 billion, maybe $3 billion that he sold the Mavs for. So I think that we have to give us a break sometimes and understand that part of building a company is also selling it for profit to perhaps in turn build another one or do nothing at all. Maybe you'll be philanthropic. Maybe you'll just take care of your family. It's okay, but businesses are made to be built and sold and utilized for other things. So kudos to her. I cannot imagine creating something that is worth $380 million. That's amazing. Well, when we come forward, we're going to get into more trending topics and headlines. We're going to talk about Jennifer Hudson and Common. They just went official. And Common has even dropped hints that, there could be some wedding bells in the future for the two of them. The eternal bachelor turning over a new leaf. Perhaps. We'll get into his comments on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. News and sports up next.
Line 1-800-59-BX.
What's up, face there? Yes. What's up, face there? Yes. What's up, face there?
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest $63.1 billion spending plan focuses on 4 priorities, including making Maryland safer, more affordable, and more competitive, while ensuring Maryland is the state that serves. Attorneys for one of the former Memphis police officers charged in the death of Tyree Nichols wants a change of venue for his client's trial. Demetrius Haley's defense says the case has been covered by the media extensively in the area, so getting a fair trial will be difficult. Tyree Nichols, who was Black, died several days after a violent confrontation with Memphis police officers in January of 2023. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Can't wait weeks for your tax refund? Then don't. At Jackson Hewitt, get money today if you're approved for a no-fee refund advance loan on a prepaid card. Book today at jacksonhewitt.com. No-fee refund advance offered to eligible clients. Application required. Loans by Republic Bank. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do Black history every single day. In fact, As the only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi, we are Black History. Our annual Black History Month luncheon is fast approaching, and we want to be sure to give you ample time to get your company, organization, church, or group to join us at this year's celebration on the last day of the month, Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your Black.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, home of the 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chucha's opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chucha's Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I started vaping my freshman year of high school, mostly because all my friends had vapes. I wanted to fit in with them and look cool and be a part of everything that they were doing. The hardest part about quitting for me was all my friends still hitting their vapes right next to me. It was really frustrating and confusing when I was trying to quit because in my head I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, but for some reason my brain still wanted it.
No quit story is the same. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit LAFLA.org. LAFLA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
What I remember about the Rain on Me video is Lorenz Tate looking amazing as he always does. Shout out to Ashanti. She always looks amazing too. But he was sinister in that video. I love Lorenz Tate. Like we all do.
Is that your celebrity crush?
That's not true. I don't think that I have one. I think I kind of do. Like, it might be a new one, but I'm unsure if I really want to commit to it.
Who is it?
Well, so here's my thing about celebrity crushes, right? Because this is my thing. Okay. So one, if I am unsure of the person's relationship status, I don't say anything. And let me tell you why, right? Because it's one thing when you're sitting at home or whatever, but I cross paths with these people often. Sometimes they are a friend of a friend. So it's a little different. It's not like you're doing fantasy hoops. You could literally be shooting your shot. And I don't want to do that.
Why not?
No.
Think about the individuals that shot they shot. The Game shot they shot.
I hear
one.
that.
Yo Gotti shot his shot.
I hear that.
One.
What do they all have in common? They are men.
Okay, what's that supposed to mean?
So me, not
and that's
everybody else.
Go ahead, speak on it.
Not everybody else. Me, Jill, right? I do not shoot my shot.
Because you're a woman, right?
Partially, yeah. But this is why. I think it upsets the natural order of things in that department.
Me with
and
all that,
I feel like when, as a woman, you shoot your shot, right? And I'm not saying let a man know, like, hey, if you shoot your shot, I'm going to shoot back. Not that, or like, I'm open to it. I'm saying if you make the first move, I think it sets up the wrong dynamics in a relationship. And from that point on, the guy thinks he is the prize, and it is set up as such that you will be the pursuer.
Actually, we both are the prize.
I know. We know that you have a theory, but I feel like the way the system is set up, that initial prize getting, that's just what I think.
You just got to find you a male individual who doesn't look at things that way. You know what I mean? I feel like this is how I always felt.
Let's hear.
I feel like sometimes women miss out on the opportunity because, I'm the woman the man is supposed to approach. I understand maybe the feedback or the concern that you may have by shooting your shot or making the first move. I get that. I think that's a natural thing to have. But I mean, I think if you could push through that, I mean, so you mean to tell me you're gonna be sitting for 5 years just waiting for somebody to come and get you?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, you make yourself available. No. I'm not saying that, but that's different than when I think of shooting your shot. I don't think of like saying you're in the same place and it's like, hey, and you guys, have a pleasant exchange. I'm talking about, so what's up? You single?
Why not? You can simply say that or ask that question and allow the man to pursue.
Because then he knows, she was interested. Man, it sets up the wrong precedence to me.
Let me tell you something. Like, I can't speak for all men, but there are men out there who are nervous themselves.
I believe it.
You know what I'm saying? So like sometimes it's confirmation for them as well. If a woman came and said hello, hey, what's up?
I understand all of that, but my thing is we can't be too unsure, shy people playing shy brother. Somebody has to be the aggressor.
Okay, then just say what's up. That's all you gotta do. Say what's up, and I'll take over.
Maybe. I don't know. Ladies, what do you guys think? Shout out to Giandra in the chat. Giandra was here. She said Stars needs to re-greenlight Loren's show for the Power Universe. I think that died when Courtney Kemp, who was the creator along with 50 Cent, left to go to Netflix with her deal. I think she was the driver behind that. We know that she had written on The Good Wife and things of that nature. So I think that they have implored elements of that political, and I'm saying this to Giandra as if she doesn't kind of know this, but shout out to her. I think that they have implored elements of the political factor in the Ghost series. Shout out to Thomas Outlaw. He says Andy is our new CLO. What is CLO? Is that a typo? Chief Love Officer? Maybe that's what it is. Go ahead, Andy. You got him down there representing, showing him how to get it done. Ow! Let's go. Listen, we have JW from South Central LA on the line. JW, happy Monday. Welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing well. I called for another reason, but first I have to address what you guys just spoke about. Now, Andy was right. Now, if you're old-fashioned or you're a traditional woman, I can understand that, and I respect that, because that's the mentality that you possess. But then this is a new era, generation, etc., and, the culture has changed. So it's okay to act like a modern woman, and there's nothing wrong with initiating interest or showing that you are have a certain desire or interest. That's okay. You don't have to go overboard. But I respect your point of view, especially if you're old-fashioned or you're traditional. But the culture has changed. Now I want to address what you spoke about earlier.
Okay.
In terms of old boy asking for too much attention with his shirt off at the Kansas City game.
Oh, Jason Kelsey.
No, real talk. Pay attention. I'm born and raised here, but I lived in Chicago for 8 years. But here's the point. That's a normal condition or standard or something that they always have done in the Midwest. And there's a logic to it because they put like Vaseline on to keep their pores from, trapping the heat, right? So the heat won't escape. So that's why they do that. And plus, it's just something that they do. It's a norm or a tradition. And here's my quick story. I'm driving a charter bus, and I'm taking a fraternity to go visit their frat brothers in Michigan. They're going to the Michigan State game. They see Michigan State play Michigan Wolverines. And this white guy, I didn't mean to say that, but anyway, this particular person, he had his shirt off, and I didn't realize it. I'm on the freeway, and it's dead in the winter, below zero. I look out my side mirror so I can change lanes. He's hanging out the window with his shirt off. Now, mind you, I said 4 cases of beer in the back, right? So they've been drinking, so he got liquor in him, so therefore his blood level has his temperature elevated. Plus he probably has Vaseline on, but he's hanging out the window. I'm driving 55 miles an hour on the interstate, probably faster because I think it was 60 or 70 back then. But the point is, he has no shirt on. I had to pull over, put my foot down to the whole persons on everybody on the bus and let them know what was cracking. I'm not going to get no ticket, no moving violations because he's hanging out the window, acting a fool, and attracting attention, for the state troopers, which is equivalent to the highway patrol here in California. But yeah, that's just something that they do. That's a norm. That's a standard. That's a tradition. That's just something that's typical. I don't care if it's Pennsylvania or Illinois or anywhere in the Midwest. That's what they do, college games and professional games. That's just something they do.
Yeah, they're going to let the yiddies out. I know. All the time.
Yeah,
Thank you as always.
Pretty much, yeah.
We appreciate you always calling JW. Always.
Yeah, but be aggressive, baby. Don't be scared.
Listen, what I said.
Don't be scared. I'm scared.
It's not about being scared. A smile, a wave, a wink. That's about all you're going to get from me.
See, Joe don't even know.
Well, hey, I respect that. I respect it. Oh, drop your handkerchief. Drop your handkerchief.
Maybe something like that. Lay out your jacket, baby. Show
20s.
me
That's
some
what
effort.
They did that in the 20s and the 30s.
I know.
Real talk. Have a good one.
J-Dub.
Wait, J-Dub.
Yeah, Anthony.
That guy that you saw, was it a white man?
Oh, that was Whitney Spears, whatever her name is, her boyfriend's brother that they was referring to. That he was trying to get attention.
But that's what I'm
Right,
talking about.
Jason.
Your story when you was driving out in the Midwest. You said it was some folks.
Oh yeah,
There were some white boys, right?
He was a white guy, and he was heavy set, over 200 pounds, chubby. So those thick guys, they have that muscle mass plus that weight, with the fat and all the above. So if you ever notice, most of them be pretty thick or well built or toned. But yeah, that's just a norm or a standard or something that's typical. But yeah, back to you, Andy. You're like Kevin Nash in terms of your music as well as your insight in terms of relationship things of that nature. Hooking people up and being real smooth with it.
Moving the generation forward.
J-Dub, I appreciate that.
The brother got skill. Real talk.
But to summarize what J-Dub had to say, that's white boy activity. Let's just keep it simple.
I mean, cold weather, whatever, in sports, shirt off, get it in.
Night.
Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into some commentary from Erica Alexander about why we should not let our oppressors define our culture, but that we need the awards to a certain extent. It's a complicated conversation. We're going to get into that, plus that Jennifer and Common story. All that and more on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency. On low Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Ladies, if you have shot your shot and it was successful, I want to hear about it. You know, if you feel about, I want to hear about your stories. Because here's the thing, it is not as if I am in denial that some guys are shy, brother, or, you know, closed mouth don't get fed, whatever one you want to insert. However, I do still stand by it sets up a different dynamic, and I will be, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, I will be not that for a man to be able to say, well, you chose me. You we're not going to have one of those. You made the right choice, and you made the choice. I'm not doing it. I'm not in pursuit. Shout out to DJ Black 909 who just jumped into the chat. I see he's an Aquarius. He said Aquarius season is here. So welcome to you, you know, mental gymnastics that are the Aquarians. It is their season. Andy, what?
Is today the first day or something?
I believe so. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Cuss baby, shout outs.
You know, get it in. Really quick before we move on, shout out to Joel Embiid scoring 70 tonight against the San Antonio Spurs on the 18th anniversary of Kobe Bryant scoring 81. Let me tell you what they find out each and every time, as dramatic as this 70 is, because Dame Lillard scored something like that, 65, 70. We know Devin Booker scored somewhere in there, but none of them get close to that 81, huh? It's difficult. That's why. It's special. Not the 70. I'm not taking anything away, because Joel's stat line, I believe it was like 70, 15, and 5 or something, which was the first time in NBA history he had done that. But again, Kobe Bryant. I cannot believe, I just realized we're 2 days after the anniversary of his death, right? It was the 20th?
Man, that's a good question. It's around that time, if it hasn't already passed.
I believe it was the 20th. I can't believe this is the 4th year.
Maybe that's another reason why Embiid went for 70. Not that he knew, not that it was his plan, but
just
you know,
the
spirit.
Man, time is moving. We are at the end of the January, 3/4 through it. You know, Kobe's been gone for 4 years. It's a lot happening. At any rate, shout out to Joel Embiid for doing that. Still Lakers all day. You know what it is. Maybe we'll make a trade. We've been hearing some rumblings.
I hope not.
So here's the thing. I'm conflicted because there are aspects of our team that I like, but when we get in the slumps, it's like, what are y'all doing? What's happening? Do you want to be here? What's going on?
I mean, it's a journey. That's all I'm going to say. It's 82 games. I don't think you're going to win every single game, but if you look at the past week or so, I mean, the Lakers have been pretty dominant, and the individual that they're talking about trading away has actually been playing pretty solid.
D'Lo or Rui?
D'Angelo.
Okay. D'Lo is, I feel like, one of those players that every season his name is always going to be in trade stuff. I feel like it was like that his first go round here. When he got traded to, was it Golden State or Minnesota? Which was the order?
I think it was Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I just feel like that's something that's always kind of attached to him. Shout out to Thomas Outlaw for also reminding us that Karl Anthony Towns dropped 62 tonight and then got benched, when the game was on the line. Big Cat showing up finally. Do you think... I feel like as crazy as this is going to sound, especially with the money, I think players need more time to develop now when they come to the pros.
100%.
And I don't think it computes with people anymore. But I really think, you think, by the time they wrap up their rookie contract, we should know. And a lot of times we haven't known. And I think it's because so much development is not happening on the college level, and AAU it's different. It's mixed bag. I just think it's a different time as far as development and skill sets.
I think I could be wrong about this, but I just think even coupled with the development, I just think that there's a lot of players that's developed, if that makes sense, like natural ability.
Mm-hmm.
So people like maybe, I guess, like a Karl Anthony Towns, they kind of get, they're under everybody else, if that makes sense, or people don't pay attention to them because you're looking at these players or whatnot. So I just think the competition is pretty thick as opposed to, yesteryears.
I mean, definitely. Shout out to Anouk Carswell in the chat and Forensic Accountant. Always appreciate you guys pulling up and checking in. So when we come forward on the other side, we're going to get into Erica Alexander, her comments about the industry as far as black actors, entertainers, and producers and so forth, what she thinks about that. We're also going to talk about Jennifer Hudson and Common. We know I've called Common a Hollywood rite of passage, for black women and black actresses.
You ain't the only one.
Yeah. Just a little jokey joke, but the 51-year-old says that, or is he 52? We'll double check that. He's serious this time. Maybe, kind of, whatever. We'll get into that. Plus, we're going to get into Dave Chappelle's comments about Cat Williams. Plus, more trending topics and headlines. All that and more on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.